What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, and stimulus check update. If you haven't subscribed here, make sure to click the subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on new videos. And I will keep you up to date here. After subscribing, click the bell icon so you get notifications when we go live. And also, thanks for hitting the like button for us down below. We have new states announcing new state stimulus checks, new checks in general. They all have different kind of names here. But as inflation is rising and pretty much all states are flush with cash at this point. Remember that there was $350 billion from the last stimulus package that went out to all the states, and each state kind of got its own share of it. And since unemployment is at around a 50-year low right now, revenues for these states is going up. So sales tax revenues, state income tax revenues, and also same for the federal government. The federal government revenue is going way up here as well. So the federal government, President Biden says that they're going to be taking in an extra $1.5 trillion as well. They're going to have a $1.5 trillion surplus. So that's a lot of money that they're going to be able to use for, well, we'll see. But right now, we have a lot of states saying, let's give money back to our residents. And if you watched the last video, we had another state announcing $1,000 checks. You can watch that video after this. I'll link you to that. But here's some more states announcing more checks and programs for, well, millions of people. Check this out. Okay, first up, Governor Holcomb from Indiana announces that an inflation relief plan is coming by the end of the next week, which is now this week, I believe. And he says this is in addition to their $125 checks that just went out for singles and $250 checks that just went out for married couples. This is a new plan on top of that. On top of that, so remember I said that a lot of states are going to be sending out multiple checks because they have so much money. So a lot of these checks are just the start of what's to come. Yeah, from Indianapolis, you can see here, you may be getting some cash from the state to help you cope with inflation. Governor Holcomb says he's waiting to see this month's revenue figures first. That should come out this Friday or next, but he says he expects to send legislators a proposal by the end of next week for getting money back to Hoosiers. That's in addition to those $125 to $250 checks that have already kind of gone out. I think I've seen comments of people saying they've already got them. They've already got them. Holcomb isn't specifying yet what form that relief would take, but he's ruling out a pause in Indiana gas taxes, calling that idea misguided. Republican legislative leaders say up to a quarter of Indiana gas tax collections come from drivers from other states passing through Indiana. Taxpayers are already getting that $125 each required by law when last year's surpluses reached nearly $4 billion. Even with those payments, the surplus is now approaching $6 billion in the first 10 months of the fiscal year. Yeah, they got a lot of money, and so do a lot of other states as well. Holcomb says he's been talking with legislative leaders about the plan. He says it won't necessarily require a special legislative session. He says it depends on, quote, how creative we are. So I'll keep you up to date on that. Next up, the state of New Jersey. Senate Republicans propose an $8 billion new tax relief. Yeah. Bolstering surplus, doubling debt repayment, and increasing oversight in budget plan. $8 billion of tax relief. Yeah. Quote, Senate Republicans have offered a detailed budget plan to make responsible use of an unprecedented $11 billion windfall of state and federal taxpayer funds to support struggling families, solve long term problems, and ensure that New Jersey is well prepared for the next recession, says Senator Declan O'Scanlan. That's quite a name. The Republican budget officer. We're leading the way in showing Governor Murphy and the Democrat legislative majorities how to give back billions to taxpayers while building a responsible surplus and paying down substantial additional debt. All right, that's what we like to hear, right? Let's see what it entails. It's no surprise that everyone else is suddenly rushing to find ways to give back, as Senate Republicans have advocated for months. The Senate Republican budget plan provides a comprehensive framework for utilizing $8 billion of previously unexpected revenues that recently have been forecast for the current and upcoming fiscal years, and $3 billion that remains unallocated from the $6.2 billion block grant New Jersey received last year through the American Rescue Plan Act. So they received $6.2 billion from that last stimulus package that was passed underneath President Biden. New Jersey. That's a lot. So I always get asked, how much did each state get from that last stimulus package? 6.2 billion. And that, wait, let me see here. In upcoming fiscal years, and 3 billion that remains unallocated from the 6.2 billion. Yeah, so there you go. There it is. Additionally, it imposes spending restraints and addresses important needs ignored by the governor's budget proposal in a balanced manner. Senate Republicans have proposed $8 billion of increased tax relief for New Jersey families and businesses, including $4.5 billion through a pair of give it back tax rebates totaling $1,500 for millions of families. Through these two bills, S2243 and S2290, $1,500. Whew, that's a nice amount. That's a nice amount. So potential $1,500 checks for millions of families, and $1 billion of property tax relief by reversing Governor Murphy's proposed cuts to municipal aid and school aid. So there could be a $1,500 check and property tax relief checks as well. So there could be more than $1,500 checks if you're a homeowner. Yeah. So if you're a homeowner, you could get, who knows, more than, I don't, it doesn't specifically say, but more than $1,500. Fully funded extraordinary special education, increasing the veterans property tax deduction as well, raising the retiree income exclusion to $250,000, and a lot of other things here. $1,500 in direct tax relief to most New Jersey families immediately. It's got a nice ring to it, right? So I will keep you up to date here on New Jersey. $1,500. That's a nice stimulus check. That would be more than any federal stimulus check that we've had. Think about it. The first stimulus check was $1,200. The second stimulus check was $600, and the third stimulus check was $1,400. So this would be $1,500 for one of the larger states, plus property tax and tax cut relief for families, seniors, and veterans, stopping pending toll hikes and all sorts of things here. So let's keep our fingers crossed here for New Jersey. Yeah. So if you're from New Jersey, let me know your thoughts here in the comments. This is a new state here that we, I don't know if I've covered this at all. I may have mentioned it one time here very recently, but this is a new state to really come up here very recently. As I've said here, one by one, all these states are kind of coming up one by one. I've seen a lot of comments. I'm sure I've seen New Jersey. New Jersey will never pass anything. I'm sure I've seen people say Governor Murphy will never help us. And here it is. Don't be discouraged if your state has never done anything, because one by one it does seem like they are coming forward. So in doing this, and these states are really the word that they all use, and the word that I use, the word that just kind of goes around, is flush with cash. So I hope that they're all doing it. I have some more states here, so let's jump right in. Let me hear your thoughts. The great state of North Carolina. Lawmakers propose a $200 gas tax refund for drivers. Yeah, North Carolina. I don't think we have seen North Carolina before. I think they had one way back long time ago for, it was children, and there was like some specifications on it. But here's the details here. Check this out. North Carolina Senate Democrats have proposed a $200 gas tax rebate to help families struggling with higher gas prices, which are also contributing to higher prices for groceries and other consumer goods. The bill, titled the Gas Tax Rebate Act of 2022, was filed Thursday. If approved, drivers would be eligible for a $200 gas tax rebate if they, as of March 31st, 2022, were a North Carolina resident over the age of 18 with a valid North Carolina driver's license. Yeah, so the rebate would be issued as a check or debit card and would be sent as soon as practical, but no later than October 1st, 2022. To pay for the rebates, lawmakers would transfer 1.3 billion with a B from the state's anticipated over collection of $4 billion, according to the proposal. 1.3 billion. That's because, like I said, all these states have a lot of money coming in. The average gas price in North Carolina has decreased slightly from last week, when gas prices reached a high of $4.38. So it looks like they might be doing this via driver's license. So potentially, you could, a married couple could get two of these. So 200 and 200 could be 400 here for the state of North Carolina. Yeah, so I will keep you up to date here on this one. Also, the state of New York here, their gas tax suspension goes into effect here on Wednesday of this week. Yeah, the New York State gas tax suspension has been passed by lawmakers as part of the budget in April, will go into effect on Wednesday and last through the end of the year. The end of the year. Wow. This comes as the national average price of gas is $4.60. The gas tax suspension is expected to save New Yorkers 16 cents a gallon, more than $600 million in total savings across the state. The legislation to lower the state's portion of the tax also gave counties permission to reduce their local gas taxes as well. Many counties have also taken steps already, including Oswego, Onondaga, Monroe, and Dutchess counties. Well, that's a couple interesting county names there. I probably butchered those. Also for New York, there is some homeowner tax rebate credits starting for New York State here as well, for I think millions of people. Yes, homeowner tax credit rebate is a 1-year program providing direct property tax relief to nearly 3 million eligible homeowners in 2022. If you qualify, you don't need to do anything. We'll automatically send you a check for the amount of your credit in New York. We've already started mailing checks and expect to mail most in June. If you don't receive your check by early July, you can expect to receive it before your school tax bill is due. Our contact center cannot provide you with a specific time frame. To be eligible, you must have qualified for a 2022 STAR credit or exemption, had income that was less than or equal to 250,000 for the 2020 income tax year, and a school tax liability for 2022-2023 school year that is more than your 2022 STAR benefit. This is for the state of New York. You do not need to calculate your income to receive the homeowner tax rebate credit. We will calculate income for eligibility purposes and we will issue the credit based on determination. The amount of your rebate credit, aka check, will depend on where your home is located, how much your income is, and whether you receive the enhanced STAR or basic STAR. To find the amount you'll receive for your homeowner tax credit is, yeah, so you can Google this if you want to like look this up, but this is kind of foreign. You might need an accounting degree to figure this out. Your school tax bill is $1,000 and your STAR tax credit is $600, then your homeowner tax credit cannot be more than $400. Or your school tax bill and your school tax bill is $400, your homeowner tax credit bill cannot be more than $400. But this kind of gives you an idea of how much you might be getting back. But hey, an extra check, extra money is extra money, better than no extra check. But it looks like 3 million people from New York are going to be getting extra property tax checks as well. Yeah. So let me know your thoughts here. And it just seems like every week there is more and more of these just popping up all over the country, everywhere. And it really seems like the closer and closer we get to the elections, remember that these states are up for reelection too. Most of the governors are up for reelection. The state legislators are up for reelection as well. The On the state level, remember each state has their own House and Senate on the state level, and each state has their own House of Representatives. How do I even say that to kind of differentiate that? So remember, each state has their own like federal senators, like Joe Manchin and Mitch McConnell. Think of those guys, and the House of Representatives. You think of like AOC and Marjorie Taylor Greene and like those people, but those are like federal people. We'll say, right? They're on like the national level, but they represent their states. But there's also like state legislators and state senators that I don't know how to differentiate it, but hopefully you get what I'm just saying here. Those guys are probably up for reelection in your state as well. So I don't know. So as we get closer to reelection, it seems like more and more states are like, hey, we have billions of dollars, which is really kind of unprecedented. It's not like this stuff happens all the time. Truly, it really doesn't. Um, they all have this money from the last stimulus package. That truly doesn't happen all the time. $350 billion going back to states. That's like a one time ever. And since unemployment is so low, it's like near a 50-year low. All these states, their revenue is just spiking right now. So they all you've seen a lot of these governors are like, well, let's see what happens after this month is over. Let's see what our revenue is like, because their revenue is just literally every month just bringing in like hundreds of millions of dollars or even billions of dollars extra than they're used to just in a single month. Yeah, so they're like, okay, since it's going so crazy, let's give some money back to the people right now because of how bad inflation is. So, and hopefully we can get the federal government to do this as well. They're up for reelection too. Pretty much everybody's up for reelection except for the president because he serves 4-year term, and about 2/3 of the Senate because they serve 6-year terms. Yeah, so I'll keep you up to date here. Make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel. It's completely free to do. So it's one of the few things that are free left in the world today. Yeah. So, and then after subscribing, click the bell icon, which is gives you notifications when we go live, and I will keep you up to date here. You can click here to watch my video I just did on Social Security payments going out. Click that if you haven't watched that yet. And then here is our newest video that we have just done as well. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.